read a page for hours. Please. Kiss me.
Greetings and salutations. This is Cage's Kiss, the ultimate Cage cast, where we discuss each of the National Treasure's cinematic masterpieces and his life. I happen to be the American accent version of Michael Caine, or Adrian.
My name is Linda, but you can call me the Cheese.
Are you some kind of Chicago cheese this week on account of this movie's like set in Chi-Town?
Yeah, I'm like a chili cheese dog.
Are you a chili cheese dog?
Yeah.
Oh wait, that's not Chicago though.
Fuck.
Part of the movie's set in New York, it's fine. No, in Chicago they talk more like Dennis Franz, you know, the Bears.
The Bears.
Them Bears, yeah. And doubles.
So, Donnie, why don't you tell us about yourself?
Donnie?
Donnie?
Did he came in, didn't he? Donnie?
I thought so. I mean, Donnie?
Wait. But we have a guest today, right?
Oh, yeah, Rick. Rick, how you doing, buddy? Rick?
Is Rick with Donnie?
Maybe?
Did they run out on us?
Are they in the bathroom?
Oh, shit.
That's what you guys do together, right? You go to the bathroom?
Calm down. It's not what you're thinking. They might just be holding hands where they both have horrific diarrhea. Only there's only one toilet, so they're just sitting over the edge of the bathtub. You know, with their dicks tucked under?
That's what you guys do, right?
Well, yeah, that's a bonding experience. Haven't you ever had that happen?
No, can't say I have. But now I'm
like,
you
you have a nice big greasy Chicago dog, and you chased it with a big slice of Chicago pizza, and then you get the rumbles. You know what I'm saying?
Rumble in the Bronx.
Yes, I believe Rumble. I don't know sections of Chicago. Fuck, they got the loop there, right? Yeah. I've only ever been to the airport and the train station. I've never actually gone out in Chicago.
Unfortunately, Rick is from Chicago. He was supposed to be able to tell us about.
Well,
Chicago.
It would really help if he was here right now. Well, people at home, the reason we're talking about Chicago, seemingly for no reason, is because we did The Weatherman this week.
We sure did.
And it's set in Chicago and actually also shot there, even though the studio really wanted them to do it in Canada.
Oh, Canada.
Yeah, no, both Cage and Gore Verbinski were all like, we want to do real Chicago. Not that Canada Chicago. It's all fake. It's fakey. Yeah.
They just want to be Chicago, am I right?
Yeah.
So...
Everybody wants to be Chicago. 25 or 624. Yeah.
So this actually wraps up 2005 for our Cage movies.
Oh yeah. This came out October 20th, just a couple days shy of your birthday.
Of my birthday.
Yeah,
I got a nice
your birthday. Yeah, you were taking your shoes off in a restaurant, and your man there had to put a knife to the maitre d's neck. Yeah.
As you do.
This movie I always thought pretty well of, but it's another box office bomb. It cost $22 million, but only grossed $19 million. So fuck you, audiences. But it opened at number 5 behind Saw 2.
Oh shit!
The Legend of Zorro.
Oh,
that movie Prime with Meryl Streep that I don't know if anybody remembers, and Dreamer, inspired by a true story, also known as a lie movie.
What the hell is Dreamer? I don't remember that.
It's some inspirational bullshit for kids where they got like a dog or a horse or something, something stupid. Or a horse dog or a horse riding a dog, and there's a dolphin
sort of
there too, Zeus, Roxanne, Maxine, and Laverne. Kids movies, they don't make any fucking sense, Fucking Crocodile Dundee shows up. It's like, crikey, that's a dolphin.
That's a dolphin.
Speaking of random shit, this week's movie has SpongeBob SquarePants in it.
Yes, Rick wanted us to mention that that it has one of his favorite cameos by SpongeBob.
Mr. Krabs!
Oh,
Gary!
Yeah. He also wanted us to point out that when referring to his father, he says Jimmy Carter called him a national treasure.
And Michael Caine is a national treasure, just not of this particular nation.
It's true.
Wouldn't it have been great if Michael Caine's lines were just redubbed by all his lines from Dressed to Kill?
Oh my god.
Dad, I can't knuckle down. You're a beautiful woman, and I would love to make love to you, but I'm married and I love my wife. In fact, you could just redub him with all the lines from Blame It on Rio and have it be illegal.
Rick also wanted us to point out the fact that he said, how the fuck is Shelly walking if she tore her ACL? Because apparently he tore his ACL in high school and couldn't walk for 4 months.
And ECL, or whatever that other one was.
Yeah, whatever
Well,
it was.
it's because the crutches were too fucking long.
I like Shelly.
Oh my god, fucking Shelly. It's like, I don't know, to kill animals and shit.
But the targets aren't moving.
She's like all the obnoxious, like awful, awkward teenager things rolled into one. It's kind of uncanny. Linda, you're good at shit. Why don't you tell the audience at home what the Weatherman's about? Since there's nobody else here.
Yeah. Take it away, Donnie.
Just do it.
Okay, so it's really about, if you'd ask Rick, he'd tell you that it's trying really hard to be American Beauty, and I can see that.
Oh god, that's just mean.
It is. But, I guess at its heart, it's really about a man who's a weatherman, not a meteorologist, but a weatherman who basically just passes on information that's given to him from the
Wait. You mean he doesn't study meteors?
Meteor shit.
Or meatball subs?
He has dreams of joining the I don't know, what do you call like a news crew cast? I don't know. He wants
to be on Hello America.
Yeah, Hello America with
Not Good Morning
Bright
America.
Gumble. No, not to be confused. But still, it has the power of Gumble, and
it's a Gumble rally.
Yes. He has a father who is a very well-known,
just one father,
very well-known and esteemed author, and he's like desperately trying to get approval from his father.
What is a Frosty?
Yes. And he's just kind of, it seems more like somebody who's come to terms with just being shat upon and shitting upon other people in the process.
Well, he gets fast food thrown at him throughout the movie at random times. Well, like drinks, coffees, falafels, soft tacos, some chicken nuggets from the Kenny Rogers restaurant. And my favorite was the McDonald's hot apple pie.
Yes!
I have to go see my family with pie shit all over me! You get shit all over you!
That was pretty fantastic. I loved that. And he's kind of at a place in his life where he's just feeling like a failure to his father and a failure as a father.
And as a husband.
And as a husband. And he's seeing this other guy, Russ, basically lead the life that he should be leading, that he feels he should be leading.
Right, because he keeps asking Russ what he's doing there.
Yeah, and he's being the good father figure to his kids. And so is his father, for that matter. I mean, he's like really, there to take care of his grandkids, but you could tell that he's trying to be a better father and a better husband, but he's just not quite making it.
Well, life sucks and it's really hard. Give him a break. God. Man, bitches always trying to take something out of a guy working hard. Fuck. What the shit? Shit'll time. God. If you had that haircut, you'd have a hard life too.
Yeah, right? One thing that stuck with me through the years, because I remember seeing this in the theater.
Oh shit! I didn't get to see it in the theater. I had to see it on DVD.
Oh yeah, I think I saw it with my ex, your previous roommate, and
Did he
it
ruin that
was,
one?
funny enough, he didn't ruin it, but somebody else in the audience ruined it. We got one of those people that, like, throughout the movie, it was saying, like, he bought him that sweater. And-
They just figured it out 10 minutes later, and they're gonna tell everybody.
yes, exactly. Like,
Oh my
they've,
gosh! I think Michael Caine's supposed to be his dad. Oh my gosh!
oh my God. Yes. So they're piecing everything together, and they want everybody to know about it.
They were giving you the R. Kelly commentary track right there. This part right here, he's trapped in the closet. Yeah. That's the name of the show, Trapped in the Closet.
We had the joy of seeing it with one of those people, but I one of the things that stuck with me was not only the food being thrown at him, but also the camel toe.
I always remember that part too. Yeah, because his daughter Shelley as a very unfortunate way of dressing, where she gets these pants that are way the fuck tight,
Hmm.
and Cage is oblivious to it, and the mother's oblivious to it. But then Michael Caine walks up and says, "They call her camel toe." What? It's when you're able to discern the crease in the vagina through the clothing.
Yes. I felt so strange hearing Michael Caine talk about the crease of
It's
the vagina.
it's just one of the many very precious things about this movie. Like I'd actually,
Most
it's been so
definitely.
long since I saw this, since I only saw it the one time. It's been so long since I saw this that I'd forgotten about Kane's role in this. But like
Yeah.
I think it's because he did a couple ones later on where he did attempted American accents, like one of which was fucking what's that movie? Like the cider house is fucking bitchin', or the cider house is awesome,
The
or
cider house rules.
the cider house
With
totally
a Z.
owns. Yeah, some shit like that. Right, with a Z. Yeah. It's like, good night, you kings of New England, you princes of Maine. I'm going to tell you about Homer Hickam. I am not from Essex or someplace like that. I fucking love Michael Caine. I don't apologize for it.
Oh no, you shouldn't.
He was in the original Sleuth, goddammit, and he was in the original Alfie, so fuck you.
Yes.
And I love Jude Law, but Jude Law is not
Me
Michael
too.
Caine.
Exactly. I've got to be honest,
And
I haven't
by the
seen
way,
the remake.
Kenneth Branagh's remake of Sleuth, I found a version of it on YouTube once, and it was just the biggest fucking turd. Like, it's like, why did this happen? Like, it's like half the length of the original. Like, they throw in some very random shit. Part of the reason, this is a total sidetrack right now, but like part of the reason why the remake of Sleuth is such bullshit is because they thought they could reinvent it, so they hired Harold Pinter to write the screenplay, the playwright.
Oh.
And I don't know if Harold Pinter's any good. Like, the original is written by fucking Anthony Schaefer, so fuck you, Harold Pinter. And I really, you know what? I feel like it's a movie that I might have liked if they'd succeeded, because they try to throw in gay shit.
Oh.
But it's so ham-fisted and sideways, and the house isn't cool. Like, nothing's cool. It's just fucking stupid ass remakes.
I rarely like a remake. It has to be really good for me to enjoy it.
Well, it almost has to be something that it's a remake of that it's so far removed,
Yeah.
that you essentially have to transform it. Like, because if you take something in recent memory that's, say, only 30, 40 years old.
Mm-hmm.
And then put it through the grinder. It's like it's too close, and they're still trying to like sort of grab the same thing, and they're failing. I don't know,
Like
it's
all
just
the iterations of Spider-Man.
Spoderman. His name's Spoderman.
Spider-Man.
Sure sucks to be Spoderman.
Spooderman.
But back to Michael Caine, goddammit, he was Harry Palmer in the Ipcris File, and Funeral in Berlin, and $1 Billion Brain. So everybody else needs to shut the fuck up.
And yeah, I agree with that. He's just a fucking amazing actor.
And he was in Harry and Walter Go to New York.
And he's amazing in this. I felt like
Yeah, I like him. I
it
like him a
was
lot.
pretty solid acting.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, it was fucking Michael Caine, but so
Of
this
course.
is directed by Gore Verbinski, who has a weird name,
Fun name.
because who gets named Gore? But so he did the original The Ring,
Hmm.
and he did the first three Pirates of the Caribbean movies, you know. Meh. But he did the Mexican with Brad Pitt and Julia Roberts, which, in spite of the fact that Julia Roberts is in it, is a really good movie.
Oh yeah, heads up for Ant Bully coming
Oh,
next.
Jesus fucking Christ.
Oh.
Verbinski also did the most unfortunate Lone Ranger movie with Johnny Depp,
Yes.
which sucked
Yeah.
tons of shit at the box office.
He also wrote and directed Rango and A Cure for Wellness. A Cure for
I
Wellness has
haven't
been on
seen
my
A Cure
list for
for
a while.
Wellness. I just briefly took a cursory glance at it. It's like it's really effing long.
It's been sitting on my shelf for a while. I've just never gotten around to watching it.
You'll probably wind up watching it before I do. But another fun fact about Gore Verbinski is that all the food in this movie that's thrown on Cage was thrown by Gore Verbinski.
Do you think that's part of why he wanted to cast Nick Cage in this? Like, just so he could throw shit
Oh
at Nick
yeah,
Cage?
no, yeah, he just watched The Family Man. He's like, somebody needs to throw a taco at him or something.
Well, another thing that I remembered through the years about this movie was the guy watching where they show like a typical man and woman
Yes,
watching it.
yeah, I think they put that in the trailer as well, which was a wise decision. In the trailer they had that, and they had the montage of the food getting thrown in slow mo.
Yeah.
No, yeah, you have the older couple watching the news, and he's like, "I hate his name. It's a bullshit
Mhm.
name," and she's like, "I think he's very handsome. I hate his face. I hate his asshole face."
Yes.
and Cage has a TV news like persona thing where he does this awful huge fake grin kind of thing, and I was like,
Yes.
great, get a weather system, yes, I get some trade winds coming down. And he has a special feature to his weather forecast, the Spritz Nipper.
Yeah.
So this whole deal about his name too, he has a screen name, I guess, fake name, because his dad's name is Spritzel, and he shortened his to Spritz to sound refreshing.
Hmm.
And there's the whole opening narration. It's like, that was refreshing. I am refreshing. And then you watch the smile fade from his face, and you realize that he feels his life is a hollow lie.
Well, and he ends up talking about how people throw fast food at him because he's ultimately fast food at that point in his life. He's just
Well, yeah, this is. I guess in 2005, people would have paid more attention to something like TV news and the weather.
right.
You know, it is like, it's never been a thing for me. I'm like, I'm not watching that shit.
Well,
I don't hate myself that much.
I feel like we've been we were lucky to come up in like the day and age of the internet. The internet.
Yeah, we probably were. I mean, it's yeah. But no, and there's the other thing is that throughout the movie, people will come up to him on the street and recognize him, and they'll ask, "Hey, what's the nipper?"
Yeah,
It'll be
what's
like,
different this week?
It's February. It's cold. I
And
just
he's
asked you about the
a
nipper.
douchebag to everybody.
Fine, fuck you then. I don't know, the one where he's in line though at the DMV. It's like,
Yeah.
you're in line, like that's like the worst fucking place to get cornered. You know,
Yeah, because you can't.
I could see your
That's it. You're
name.
cornered. You can't go
You're on
anywhere.
TV, dude. You're on TV.
You're on TV, dude.
That guy who's like Seth Rogen's stunt double or something.
Yeah.
Breath
right.
Bogan. Yeah.
Well, and Gore Verbinski, it looks like he actually started off as a music video director.
Yeah, that makes sense. A lot of modern ones do.
Yeah.
Well, that actually makes a lot of sense for him, since he's always had a strong visual sense in his
Yeah.
films. Like as disposable as Pirates of the Caribbean may be, like it's very strong in that aspect of it. Like not necessarily, like there's a lot of CG and shit, obviously, but
Yeah.
like shot composition. Like Verbinski's excellent at shot composition. Like, I don't like
Yeah.
The Ring, but you got to admit his aesthetic is very strong in it.
Definitely. And the son, Mike, looks a little familiar, and that's because he
Oh,
is
I didn't look him up. What was he in?
in About a Boy, he was the boy.
Oh, you know
And
what? I did see that in the theater and I actually walked out in the last 10 minutes. Well, I
no
kind of
love for
shrugged
Hugh
and I
Grant.
figure, like, I don't have anything against. Like, Hugh Grant was in a Ken Russell movie and, and,
Hmm.
and, and one of the better Woody Allen movies, which is to his credit. I don't have anything against Hugh Grant, and he was in that totally weird 80s train movie with the Nazi ghosts. Look
His
it
most
up.
important role yet.
Well, no, about a boy. It's like it was just sort of like it's a very sort of obvious, predictable little movie, you know. And I got to the end. It's like I think I know how this is gonna go. I think I'm gonna go home.
Shit, wasn't Hugh Grant also in was it Kiss of the Spider Woman or
That was no, that was William Hurt.
because I feel like he was like had a bit part in that. I gotta look it up.
Oh, a
Um
bit. Well, I don't know. I think I've only ever seen like the last 30 minutes of that, like on PBS, and that was like maybe literally 30 years ago. So
well also Nicholas Hoult was in X-Men. He's Hank slash Beast. And
does he have a
he
shirt off the
was
whole time there too?
also
You
he
should
was mhm.
you should probably mention what goes on with that character in
Oh, I
Weatherman.
definitely will.
Okay, yeah.
Um, and he was actually born in Berkshire, England.
Okay, I thought
So,
because in About a Boy, it's like this is rather English.
yes,
He's
rather.
not from Chicago, is he? No.
No. So, I mean, great job with the American accent.
So we got two Brits doing American accents in this one. It's a
Yeah,
twofer. Yeah.
I would think that
Now
would
they
be
just need
really
Hugh Laurie to show up. You know.
You're right. I've always been kind of in awe of people who can do that because I would think like isn't that once you introduce somebody else with that accent, doesn't it make it harder? Like I don't know. But I was shit for accents at that age, and I'm still pretty shit for accents. So my hat's off to
But you
him.
cannot do a very amusing accent if you wanted.
I try not to offend people with my accents.
Perhaps you have not met somebody with a very funny retardation.
Oh, Jesus.
Hey, Shibash.
Uh,
What? I like
so,
sex.
yeah,
Is
the son character
okay,
is
bring it on.
he's talking all about like in the beginning when we first see him, he's shopping with one of his friends and he sees his drug counselor because
Because his
apparently
mother
he
put him in counseling for fucking pot.
yes, because she caught him smoking pot.
So Noreen isn't
So
necessarily the best person either.
no, or the brightest.
No.
So
But she is Hope Davis.
yes. Yeah. And anyway, he recognizes his drug counselor and he says, "Oh, he's great. He's cool. He uses curse words and talks just like us."
What is it, like 20 degrees? Fuck.
Yeah.
Buying some clothes, huh? Whoa, what's that like? Buying clothes. I'm like
Oh.
blown away. And he just has like this long, uncomfortable stare. He's got the goatee and he's got the dark brown eyes.
Yes.
And
Yes.
which we later find out that there's something else going on with that stare.
Well, it's like you could just I remember when I saw the movie in the theater, I could just call it from a fucking mile away. I was like, "Ah, stranger danger. Stranger
Yeah, that's
danger."
that's Don. Yeah, Don the rapey counselor.
Yeah,
Yeah,
right.
he's like, so you lift, bro, huh? Oh, why don't you take your shirt
Ugh.
off? We'll take before and after photos and see if you're making gains.
Ugh.
And Cage's son is under 18 at the time, so he's a pedo.
Yeah.
He's a Gepedophile.
Here comes Beto Bear.
Yeah, yeah.
Peter File. Um,
Peter.
so yeah, but it's okay. It works out because when Cage finds out, Cage's character, he goes and beats the shit out of him.
Yeah, no, he gives him back all the shit that the counselor bought for his son, and then he punches him a few times. Yeah.
Yeah.
But the way that is handled and a few other things in the movie, I think that's part of why this movie did not do well, because it actually is. It's a fairly spot on drama with laughs. It's not really a
Hmm.
thoroughgoing comedy. And I
If
think
anything, I'd call
people
it
were
like a
not.
dark comedy.
Yeah, dark comedy or dramedy. You know, people. I don't think people were expecting as much drama as they got in this. But I
Hmm.
feel like and I liked it when I first saw it. I wasn't thrilled with it, but I feel like I'm appreciating it more on revisiting it here, like fucking 14 years later.
And it doesn't have that happy ending that so many people want. And it has a
Right.
happy ending, but not
Well,
like.
it has an ending in which Cage sort of accepts that he's the weatherman and he's not going to save his marriage because that's over, and that
Hmm.
he's not going to be an author. And so like
Yeah.
he it's him learning to deal. But they shot that. This is set in Chicago in February, and it was shot in Chicago in February. And so you get all these establishing shots. You get the fucking dense ass flakes of ice on the lake they got
Yes.
there. It's
I
like
like that shot.
I like it too. I like it too because it's very much setting shit up for that.
Hmm.
And I know I could never survive a winter in the Midwest. I mean, fuck it. I'm a West
Oh
Coast
God, yeah.
person. Like I could barely survive the February we just had here. This year.
Seriously.
Although fun fact, when they actually went to shoot this, Chicago was having a dry winter. They were not having
Mm.
nearly as much snow as was projected. They actually
Oh.
had to fake a lot of that.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Well, also
Um.
fun fact, the guy who plays Russ, who kind of fills in where Nick Cage feels his character is.
Clearly the next husband. Yeah. For
Yeah.
for Hope Davis. Yeah.
Um it's Michael Rispoli,
Okay.
and we've seen him as Jimmy in Snake Eyes, and we're going to see him again as Big Joe in Kick-Ass.
Oh, okay. Oh, so he's a regular.
Oh
All
yeah.
right. A word on Hope Davis.
Oof.
So she actually was in a lot of roles, kind of like this one around that time. She played Greg Kinnear's wife in the movie The Matador with Pierce Brosnan, which was this totally
Oh.
overrated piece of shit. Everybody was fucking wanking over The Matador. And I watched it, and I'm like, all these jokes are falling flat. This last act doesn't make any sense. This movie is a turd. Fuck you all.
Don't you see Pierce Brosnan's ass in that?
Don't you see Pierce Brosnan's ass all over the place? Dude, if you watched The
Well,
Long Good Friday like I told you to, you'd see him in a gay shower scene.
fucking what have I been doing with my life?
Yeah, when are you sitting around smoking when you could be seeing this shit? He's all young and Irish. You know,
The Long
The Long Good Friday.
Good Friday.
It's got Bob Hoskins.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Is he in the gay scene? Shower scene?
No, he's
No.
not. He's busy
Right.
being a British gangster.
Can't have everything.
Not everything. Hope Davis was also in Arlington Road and Proof and American Splendor. Hope Davis.
Ooh. Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah. I
Yeah.
love American Splendor. And she was great in that. And I feel like she had some good, strong acting in this, but there's just something about her that
I got
I
nothing
don't know.
against her. Like, she's been in some bad shit. No, she nailed her part. I love the bit where Cage decides he's gonna playfully throw a snowball at her when they're having an awkward like
Yes.
ex-wife type meeting, and the snow winds up being too hard, and she winds up turning into it and it smashes on her glasses. She's like, "Fuck! I think you broke the glass. What were you thinking? You turned into it."
Yes, I love that because it's one of those like painful moments that you're kind of cringing and you could kind of feel that his pain.
Yeah, it's clear that their marriage is long. Is like well dead and buried, and it was just an utter
Yeah.
disaster, and they're just terrible together. And there's the part where he's thinking about where it all went wrong, and he has the flashback to where he was supposed to
Yes.
go get takeout for them and not forget the tartar sauce. And he's walking down the street, and he has this whole stream of consciousness where he's at crosswalk, and there's a girl in front of him in tight pants, and he says, and he's thinking, I want to put my face in there. I like eating pussy. Well, some guys don't. Well, maybe that's just black guys. Neil Young. Why did I think about Neil Young? I wish I had two dicks. I thought the whole family was going to learn Spanish this year. I'm going to put some plutonium theft in my book. That'd be cool. And you
I
see
love
exactly
that.
how he forgot the tartar sauce. It's and then he gets home. It's like, oh, they were out.
I love that scene because I feel that scene like deeply because I feel
Yeah,
like that's my mode of thinking most of the time. It's just like
right.
weird
About
tangents
how you
and
wish you had two dicks. Yeah.
right. Well, yeah, obviously. I
Uh,
mean, helicoptering one is fun, but I'd imagine, but two, Jesus, come on.
oh yeah, you have greater air superiority that way.
And I could have Carlo do the dance of the two snakes.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
um. So the movie was shot by a very Greek DP, Phaedon Papamichael,
Ooh.
who shot Sideways the year before, which is really really fucking excellent movie. And also shot that movie Identity, where John Cusack doesn't know he's one guy's split personality.
Yeah.
Which is it's not that good.
So we already have two ties to Paul Giamatti.
Oh
This whole
shit! Yeah,
movie.
both ends. Yeah. Another random credit on this one. The score, believe it or not, was by Hans Zimmer.
Oh
And I say believe
shit!
it or not
Really?
because Hans Zimmer specializes in completely generic orchestral bullshit. Like most of
Yeah.
his scores, it's just you just kind of shrug. You're like, okay, what else you got from me, fuckhead? Well, no, this one's a very very alternative for him. Apparently, Verbinski actually plays guitar on the score somewhere in there.
Oh.
Yeah. So good on Zimmer for one time breaking out of his stupid mold that he made for himself.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
So there's a few plates spinning in this plot. Like he finds out that his dad Michael Caine has lymphoma, and they have a living funeral for him.
Mm.
And Cage's speech begins, "When I think of my dad, I think of the song Like a Rock by Bob Seger." And then the
Like a
power goes
rock.
out, and he never gets to finish his speech. And then later he's in the car with Michael Caine, and he plays the song. It's like, I don't get it, son. What am I missing?
How am I like a rock?
Sweating in the sun, felt like a winner, felt like number one. I'm just saying, like we should all be so lucky as to represent Bob
Right?
Seger lyrics because fucking Silver Bullet Band, motherfucker. As we steal away every chance we could.
I just love this movie and watching it again I feel like was a gift because I just enjoy it every time.
It's kind of like The Family Man. If The Family Man was like all the way good.
Yeah, exactly. And
I mean,
didn't
like,
have creepy seal there.
right? But although it would have been fine if Don Cheadle had just kept popping up in this one. Like if Don Cheadle was the one
Oh
who threw
yeah.
shit at him.
Oh my god, that would be amazing.
No, just imagine this thing with the new thread, right? It's kind of like how in the book Mary Poppins there were a bunch of different guys, and then the movie Mary Poppins they made all those guys into Bert.
Yeah.
So what if he goes for change and Nicolas Cage has like just been hit in the face with something, right? So his face is swole up and bandaged.
Mhm.
He's like, "Can I get some change?" And Don Cheadle's like, "Not really." And it's like, "No, I just want some fucking change, okay? Fine, I'll get a coffee." Well, that's 80 cents. You don't get a quarter. And so what if Cage was like having a really shitty day? So he like reaches in the register and like sticks his dollar in and grabs a quarter. It's like, ha! And like walks away. And Don Cheadle's eye is just trembling, right? And then later on, when Cage's face is better, he's on the weather, and Don Cheadle sees the weather and realizes that the guy who fucked him over is the weatherman. And so he like walks him in the street. He's like, "Hey, what's the nipper, motherfucker?"
Enjoy your hot apple pie.
Right, and it just keeps getting worse and worse. Like it's like Peter Griffin fighting the giant bird. Like it just escalates.
And he just follows him around throwing food at him.
Hey, weatherman!
Fuck you.
Yeah, like Cage and his daughter, they go to a sporting event, and all of a sudden somebody comes up behind him and dumps the entire thing of Gatorade on Cage, and it's freaking freezing, and it's Don Cheadle. Then he comes home and he has like Gatorade colored icicles coming off of him. And it's not a sack race how his daughter gets injured. She gets hit by the Gatorade thing once it falls off of him.
She gets hypothermia.
What the hell happened? Don't start with me, Noreen! And Russ comes out and is like, fuck off, dildo!
She gets hypothermia and loses a couple toes.
Right? Oh, and then it's okay, so she's forced to not be able to do the dance thing anymore.
Yeah.
And she's like in a wheelchair in a long dress. David, you solved the camel toe, but her dress is too short. There's also the whole archery thing in there where because there's a narration tying this all together. So there's a lot, but it's able to squeeze into the package with the narration about how his daughter wanted to do archery at one point. And after one lesson, like, she just kept hitting herself, like, while trying to loose the arrow, so she's like, well, fuck this. And they didn't do their other 5 lessons, and it was probably hell expensive. And then Cage tries to interest her in it again, and he just winds up getting good at archery himself.
She just quit because it was too hard.
Yeah. No, that's her whole deal. It's like, I wanted to kill animals and do bow hunting. It's like, you didn't even hit a stationary target. You should support me.
Yeah, she wanted to kill things.
She wanted to hunt animals to kill them, not necessarily to eat their meat.
No. I felt like that reminded me of Donnie when we were kids. When we were kids, I can say this because he's not here. Donnie wanted to be a bounty hunter. And Donnie destroyed most of my toys right in front of me.
It's okay. For a while, my brother wanted to be a police officer. That would have been equally disastrous.
I was kind of surprised that Donnie didn't turn out to be a psychopath. So, good for him. Donnie. He could be, I guess, and he's just really good at it.
We never actually looked under that double wide while he was living in it. It could have been all bodies, like with John Wayne Gacy.
Hey, where did his French fiance go?
Oh, I haven't seen her in a while. Oh,
well.
So this is another bad hair Cage movie though. For once it's intentional. Mm-hmm. It's not like Wicker Man and Next and National Treasure where it's just some horrible thing that they don't even understand.
Oh, I can't wait to get to Wicker Man. It's just around the corner.
For fuck's sake, fucking goddamn it! Speaking of fucking shitty remakes, The Wicker Man.
Oh Jesus Christ! Oh Lord!
I've frequently gone through the riff tracks of that one though, so I feel I'm as prepared as you can get.
I haven't seen it yet.
Oh no,
the riff tracks, no.
Okay, yeah.
I've
How did I get bored?
The Cage version. Yeah. How did I get bored? Yeah. I mean, him going around kicking Lily Sobieski in the tummy
all the time. Yeah,
he can't beat that with a stick. Man.
Well, the part where he punches out Sister Beach.
Yes.
As a bear. If you guys have seen our episodes on YouTube, I did an animated opener where Cage, and it opens with Cage punching somebody, and that is actually traced frame by frame from the scene of The Wicker Man where he punches out Sister Beach.
Yay! But we will get to that movie eventually. Sorry.
You mean they gotta wait?
Back to this. The Weatherman.
The Weatherman. They say he comes with the weather, and when he leaves, someone dies.
Oh! I actually have something for my segment.
You what? You have a segment?
I want his clothes off.
Well, whose clothes do you want off, Linda? Shit.
Everybody's. Especially well, no, everybody. No, yeah, but especially Michael Caine. But what I did see in this movie was great big flopping boobies.
Oh, that's right. Okay, yeah, where he's talking about how easy his job is, and he does the appearance as Lincoln, and then he gets the ball that what kind of outfit was she in? She was in some kind of theme outfit.
It was like a what do they call it? A dirndl, like one of those German.
Okay, all right. So it was like an Oktoberfest kind of a thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
And or she was working like a German food like
Oh
maybe like
yeah,
a
no, it could have
sausage or
been.
something.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, Rick pointed out that we went from him stealing the Declaration of Independence to him reading the Gettysburg Address. So
Bum bum bum.
it's nice. But
Yeah.
yeah, Rick said he's sorry. He did want to join us today, but a
Join
certain
us.
somebody kind of fucked up the time conversion.
Somebody whose name rhymes with Linda, perhaps.
No, it rhymes with Brenda.
I like your place, Brenda.
It's my evil twin, Walinda.
Oh, well, Linda. Tawanda!
Tawanda.
Um,
But yeah, so you get great big flopping boobies
flopping
and
boobies, yeah.
yeah,
And
that's
and a camel toe montage.
Camel toe montage. Yes, I love it.
Yeah,
And I
no,
have to say,
that's one of the delightful things in this movie.
yes, one of the many. And I have to say that I was delighted that the daughter character assumed for the best that camel toe, like when they were yelling camel toe at her, they thought they were
It
saying she was tough because camel toes are tough.
Well, they walk on all the hot sand and all the hot rocks. They're tough. I think they make car tires out of camel toes.
I thought that was so precious. And I remembered back when I was that age, and I was like, no, from that age and to this day, I would just assume that whatever they're saying is bad. I just
Yeah, but
assume the worst.
people do manage to have random ignorances sometimes, right? You know,
True.
like you could get all the way to our age or older, and there'd be certain thing that they simply never learned.
Right.
You know, so one time we were I was a senior in high school, and you know, then there's a fucking, you know, map of the United States on the wall. And this one girl is trying to talk. I don't remember what the whole context was, but she asked, "What's that ocean above Montana?" And because in some of the colored maps that there will be in American schoolrooms, Canada will just be blue. Now it's a different
Yeah.
shade of blue than the ocean. It's a dark blue, and it says Canada, and it's clear that it's a landmass. But for some reason, since it was blue on the map, she concluded that there was another coast up there.
Oh boy.
Now that's an extreme ignorance, but you know.
Well, that's all right because someone in my high school thought that different countries had different moons, and that's in high school.
Where the fuck with the? So they think there's just one hovering over each. Do they have to install those? It's like a capital. It's like, better put up the moon.
Yeah, right.
When the Soviet Union broke up, were there suddenly a whole bunch of new moons that came into being? Or?
The government better get its hands off my moon. That's all I'm saying.
Oh God. Oh fuck.
Oh,
Okay, well,
yeah.
that's certainly a new level.
American public school system, everybody.
You know, we went to school in California, and they'd always shit on those schools, but really,
Yeah.
you know, like it's. I don't think those are the worst, though.
No.
Yeah.
Definitely not.
We really like to undervalue the education.
Education.
Education. Yeah, that's right. I graduated.
I'm graduate. Did you feel ready to face this off, or?
Yeah. Oh, wait. What about wisdom? Does this movie have wisdom?
Yeah, actually, I
Yeah.
really,
Is that the wrong order? Does it matter?
I took my wisdom from one of my favorite quotes in here. It's easy doesn't enter into grown up life.
Yeah.
Also,
in this
if you've got a
shit life.
camel toe, just wear some dresses and skirts. Resolved.
Just no, put on a jockstrap.
Or that.
Why can't you wear a jockstrap? You girls think you're too good for jockstraps?
Bring cod pieces back into fashion.
Well, you know,
Where
they
did
got those.
go?
They got the ones with the padded plastic cup on there. Just do that, you know. And then looking down there, they get what they get, you know.
Or what were those, like those pubic wigs? Oh, merkin. We should just bring merkins back.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
I don't know how
Oh.
we women would wear them, but I'm willing to find out. So, what's your wisdom? What do you got?
Well, I learned that a lot of people would rather throw fast food than finish it.
Yeah, what's up
Um,
with that? There was a lot of wasting.
I know, it's like, man, those chicken nuggets were still good, you fucking bastard.
And that apple pie, come on, man.
And there was like a whole falafel.
Yes, I love like the slow motion, like motion of the waffle exploding on his face.
Oh, and
So,
if you read the mega secret note written in couples therapy, don't let your partner know that you read that mega secret note, even to
yes.
correct them about whether or not your book was a science fiction novel.
Oh yeah, I
and, she,
think
and she says it's crappy. It's crappy of you.
I think Adrian and I have met that writer a couple times.
Yeah, well, plus this is a you meet a lot of people who think they can write, myself included.
Yeah,
Um,
myself too.
yeah, but like a lot of people, for some reason, everybody thinks that writing you just make a bunch of shit up and you're done.
Hmm.
And you kind of are, but if you want it to be, more than just some fuck awful amateur novel,
Yes, if you want it to be successful,
But like a lot of the ones I've met that thought that also did not read books.
right?
And before
Yeah.
I was a reader, I also tried to be a writer also. And then later on, like I read some shit. I'm like, oh wait a minute, this is why that was all really bad. Okay.
Yes.
In fact, I found a guy on DeviantArt once who had a series of stories. And the language was bizarre. Like you'd talk to him, and it would be really solid communicative English, right? You'd be able to exchange with him, and talk and like. But
Right.
his writing sounded like somebody who had just learned the language or fed it through Translate, even worse.
Ew.
And there's like all these really weird random turns of phrase, and there's this fantasy world, and like things keep being introduced, and like backstory comes out of nowhere, and you can't even tell where the characters are after a while. And I talked to him. I said, so just trying to like get it out of him. What are some of your influences? And he's like, oh, mostly video games. I'm like,
Oh no. I want to be having the fuck.
yeah, yeah. So that's
Yeah.
where you get like like actually you remember Funny Farm with Chevy Chase?
Yes.
You remember in that one too? He's writing the novel. He gets the secluded house and he's trying to write the novel, and the wife reads it. Like he gets a hotel room when he
Yes.
finishes it and gets a bottle of champagne and gives her the book, and he lets her go in the other room to read it, and she comes out and she's weeping. It's so bad.
I always think about that when I ask somebody to read my writing. Like,
Yeah.
please don't weep. So
It's
do
like,
you
well,
feel
that's like its own trope, right? Like
yes.
the sort of like loser husband like thinks he could write some slick novel about poker buddies knocking over a casino or some shit.
Right. Do you feel ready to face this off?
I do have a face off prepared, and it is largely based around Gil Bellows' role
Oh.
as Don Bowden. Because that's the one that puts the creepy element into this one.
Oh my.
So this is Weatherman Creep version, directed by Bryan Singer, produced by Harvey Weinstein.
Oh god.
So as Dave Spritz, Jerry Seinfeld,
Oh Jesus.
as Noreen, Asia Argento, for Michael Caine, Stephen Collins, and for as Don, the rapey counselor, Jared from Subway.
Oh boy.
Yeah, just go with it.
He's too busy getting those footlongs.
In jail. Oh, you're getting out of jail. Oh.
Well, let's see. It looks like Rick sent his face off.
Oh yeah, what's
He
your
had
Rick's? Yeah.
two versions. One that I absolutely
Nice.
had to share.
Okay.
Um, He suggested, now this is a little different from what we usually do, but he suggested replacing Christian Slater with Nick Cage and have it be the Heathers Man.
I
Heather
see.
Man. And
Uh,
also his other version is I have to approve. John Cusack is David.
oh
Makes
shit!
sense.
Yeah, I'd watch the fuck out of that.
Oh hell yeah. Ian McKellen is Robert.
Okay.
Uh, Naomi Watts is Noreen, which is funny because that's actually what I was thinking too.
Oh,
Was
she's
Naomi
Australian.
Watts.
Eh.
And she was in The Ring, which is directed by Gore Verbinski.
Well, don't forget she was
And
in Tank Girl.
oh shit, yeah.
Yeah, that was her in Tank Girl. Yeah.
Oh god. Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember who she played. If she was Jet Girl or oh
It's been
shit,
a
that's
while.
gonna yeah, but I oh god, I love that movie. It's so quotable. And he had Jack Black as Russ. For me, I
Okay.
I I had as David, I have the Goots. And Steve Gutenberg getting all up in there.
Oh man.
For
You won't let
Robert,
that
I
die.
had never. As Robert, I have John Hurt, and
Oh.
as Noreen, I had Regina King. So mine's not a funny one this time. It's just I'd like to see the Goots get a ball in there.
funny looking. Funny looking. Yeah.
And I just love John Hurt, so
Yeah, no,
but,
John Hurt's awesome. Yeah.
I want to bring him back.
Yeah. From the dead.
I guess yeah. Call BillyWitchDoctor.com.
Because he died.
So I guess this is the time where I say please, please, please listen, follow, rate, and review Cage's Kiss on Apple Podcasts, especially. You can also find us on Podchaser and on the YouTubes. We have that lovely
You should
opening.
you should watch the fuck out of our YouTube, by the way. We're getting some flamey comments now, and it's just fun.
It really is. Yeah, we got our first troll on
look,
YouTube.
apparently we are the worst possible people to have reviewed the movie The Family Man, even though we were pretty much in favor of it.
Yeah, but hey, whatever. It was fun.
Like I guess general like shrugful approval isn't good enough, and we should have just sucked that movie's dick.
And tickled the balls. Oh, get all up in there.
Right.
Anyway, but if you can, please help us out by telling your friends, telling your enemies, telling fucking everybody, hey, Christmas is coming up, man. In fact, it should be this week.
Get a dirty
yeah.
urine-stained trench coat, stand on a street corner, and scream about the Cage's Kiss podcast.
That's how you get people to listen.
Exactly. Yeah, that's how you get attention. Maybe get a
And,
cardboard, use pizza box while you're at it, permanent marker, right.
Exactly.
Don't ask for anything, just spread the word of Cage's Kiss.
But it's Christmas time. Give your friends and family the gift of Cage's Kiss.
They'll love you
pizza on
more,
yours.
honest.
And once again, I know that he's very sorry, and I'm very sorry. Everybody's really sorry that Rick couldn't make it today, or Donnie. But you should definitely give his show a listen, Rick. It's Toys Were Us. It's an awesome, fun show.
That were us.
And remember, you could find us on Facebook and on Twitter and the Instagrams at Cage's Kiss. You could visit our website at cageskiss.com, which features a lot of awesome Adrian artwork.
Oh,
And
me?
you could write to us at cageskiss@gmail.com. And if you have any, wild stories about Nick Cage or any personal stories about Nick Cage, any Nick Cage fanfic.
Oh,
or
and if you have any
slashfic.
not Cage related stuff that you just think would be a challenge to sit through, remember that challenge still stands.
Yes. If you have any videos, any animation, whatever.
If you have
send
something
them.
that you think is just unwatchable, you can make us watch it, and we'll report whether or not. If we failed, we'll admit we failed.
Exactly. But we don't often call mercy on anything. So
It's been a long time, but
Yeah. But hit us up. Give us the challenge. And or if you want some advice on just like how to dress up your cats for the Yule time,
Yeah.
you could write to us at cageskiss@gmail.com. Adrian, you got any plugs?
Ah.
Ugh.
Well, I have my own YouTube, A Smith, on YouTube over there. There's content and shit. Most of my content goes to my DeviantArt. That's Leo the Fox, all lowercase, all one word. And on DeviantArt, I've got another issue of Dreadful Tales coming up. The deadline is the 28th, so if you have some old-timey stories or illustrations that you would like to include and you're on DeviantArt, that's the place to shove them in, because it's like a pulp magazine type of thing. It's lots of fun.
Yay!
Yeah.
You can catch Donnie at Unreal Goals on Twitter and The Boy Who Blew on Pornhub and RedTube.
Or on your zipper.
And on your zipper,
Yeah.
in your dreams. You can catch Rick
Every
on
town
his...
has an Elm Street.
I'm your boyfriend now, Adrian. You can catch Rick on his weekly podcast, Toys R Us. And you can catch me on the now weekly podcast, Bedknobs and Broom Flicks, where we cover witches in stories, film, comic books, whatever.
A witch!
Book books.
Bad hush.
Witch! And also we cover, in our mini-sodes, we cover witches in history, as well as our favorite familiars. So
Did you watch that 70s short one I linked you to?
Not yet. It's
Okay.
actually on our list.
Okay.
This week, for some ungodly reason, we're covering The Night Before Christmas. That's Knight.
What?
It's like a glorified Hallmark Channel movie on Netflix.
Dear God, did you know that the Hallmark Channel used to be the Faith and Values Network?
Of course.
It's just a bunch of fucking religious ass bullshit that's thinly disguised. That's all it is.
Religious ass white bullshit.
Very. Yeah, no, it's like that. The Lifetime channel felt self-conscious, so the Hallmark Channel came into being to say, "See, you're not the worst network."
Yeah, so stay tuned for our promo for Hallmark.
What?
We're
not promoting that shit.
Love. But we'll be seeing you next week with the Ant Bully.
That's AUNT bully, right? It's about your mother's sister or something who's really shitty to you. She comes by and puts out cigarettes on you.
Well, yeah, that happens to everybody, right?
Okay.
Until then, Donnie can't be with us because he shot a kid.
And rats off to you.
Rats off to you.
Yay! Not AIDS, I guess. That's all, folks.
Cage. Peach. I could eat a peach for hours.
Linda, can you hear me? Adrian, how are my levels? Can one of you guys please let me in? I'm so cold and all alone. So sorry I didn't answer my phone. I was too busy making pornography. I swear I am not dead. I'm just not coming back. I tried to find a way, but Algonquin crippled my back. Well, I guess that is the way it must be. This podcast of Cage must continue without me. But wait, what is this? If I am not to return, I must find an honest living. Well, fuck that. I guess I shall return for the Ant Bully.
What's up, guys? You like movies? You like cleverly named cocktails? Then why don't you listen to Pop?
Pour.
Review!
A podcast where we review movies, all while drinking some cocktails. Join us every Monday as we discuss new movies, old movies, and everything in between. New episodes Mondays at 7 Eastern. Come have a drink with us.